What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel again. And as you know, we have started a new chapter. It is chapter 3, and if you've done all the getting started questions, you are pretty ready for the thing we will do in class in the future, future days. So for 3.1, basically is what we did during class. Today, like the frog puzzle. It's super tricky. Like I just passed for once, and then after that I fail all the time. Like I reach my maximum, but still not getting there. So basically, it is kind of exploring a situation using quadratic function, and like we just using what was the happen. Using a quadratic to draw like what was the situation, like during that period. So for 3.2 and relating the standard and factor forms, and I just looked through the pages, and it was show very clearly about the factor form and the standard form, which they are different, but we can use in folio to expand it from factor to standard, or we can just using factor from standard form to factor form. And zero relation, basically just zero, I think. Yep. And basically they just talk about how to factor the standard form to factor and then expand them, and some question like that. I know it's super easy, right? For you. And we also got some super crazy questions we need to do here. In the future, if you go to page 140, and you will get mad if you saw those questions into your eyes, you know what I mean? And you will blow my mind. And yeah, basically 3.2 was all about like a quadratic something. And for 3.3, solving quadratic equation by graphing. So we did that before. Of course, we did that like just using a pen and then draw like the vertex, y-intercept, x-intercept, and everything, blah 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 blah. And they do have show us the quadratic equation, but this time at here, as you can see, it's not y anymore, it's 0. So we're just calculating the 0 of the graph. So it is easier for us to identify the x-intercept and vertex, so we can draw a perfect parabola, right? And that's pretty much for the chapter 3.3. And that's basically all of them. And then calculating the breach, I think pretty easy by looking at a graph. And the mid-chapter review, and then solving quadratic equation by factoring, which is the factoring we're still learning today. Before, nowadays, whatever. Basically, it seemed like trickier, but actually it was the same thing as we learned. So just review what we learned, and then find out and then do on a new chapter. And I like those airplanes questions, as you can see here. The solving problems involving quadratic functions. Same thing, quadratic function, and we just calculate using the method we have learned during this chapter. After that, that's basically for chapter 3.5, and then 3.6. I believe they do have 3.7, right? Is it? No. Here's the chapter 3 chapter review, and we're going to have a test again, I believe. And those questions are super useful for a test of, and the chapter self-test so useful. Although a teacher didn't tell you to do that, but if you do that, maybe some question will show up on the test. No, just kidding, never show up. And that's basically it for the chapter 3, and that's all I have to say. I mean, this is it for chapter 3, whole chapter preview, alright? And thanks for watching. See you next time.